I'm standing on the western edge of Warrens, Idaho, 60 miles north of McCall, Idaho, on the south bank of the Salmon River Mountains. There was so much action here in 1862, 63, 64, 65, just as the Civil War was ending and winding down. Thousands of miners flocked into this area known as Warrens, Idaho. Warrens with an S, Diggins, because gold was found here in large quantities. We showed you what it was like where they made dredge ponds and brought out the big dredges. Those were transported on the backs of mules all the way from Grangeville, Idaho, which had come by wagon from Lewiston, Idaho. The men and women that settled this country and began to tame it were incredible, were strong and powerful folk, and they let no obstacle keep them from their dream, from finding what society called at that time El Dorado, the magnificent gold treasure. At the very same time, a young poet, you may know him or about him, Edgar Allan Poe, came through this country and wrote a poem about it. Standing on top of the Salmon River Mountains, looking north and east, he recorded these words: El Dorado, gaily bedight, a gallant knight, in sunshine and in shadow, had journeyed long, singing a song in search of El Dorado. But he grew old, the knight so bold, and o'er his heart a shadow fell as he found no spot of ground that looked like El Dorado. And as his strength failed him at length, he met a pilgrim. "Shadow," said he, "where can it be, this land of El Dorado?" "Over the mountains of the moon, down the valley of the shadow. Ride, boldly ride," the shade replied, "if you seek for El Dorado." Men and women came through these remote, isolated, untamed areas in search of the little gold stones, nuggets. They found all kinds of them, and gold dust, and placer mined, and then into the hard rock mining, and into the quartz packed with gold. And fortunes were made and lost, and the old buildings that you see before you now were where they lived. Come with us and let me show you what's left of downtown Warren, Idaho. Of course, this wasn't here in 1862. A backcountry airplane airstrip landing strip. Time marches on. Just think for a minute. Some of you watching this came from the men and women that settled this area. They didn't have everything, but they had more than they presently had, and they had the dream of having more than they ever thought possible. So they persevered. Some of your ancestors rode and walked these streets. But that's not the question. The question will be, 40 or 60 years from today, what your progeny will say about what you did with the use of your life. I quote, "The best use of your life is to so live your life that the use of your life will outlive your life." Those very words were lived right here in Warrens, Idaho. Go to a map of Idaho, right in the center of it is the town of Grangeville. Drop down the Salmon River on the east bank, straight down from Grangeville, and you'll come across a place called Florence. Go further down and you will cross the Salmon River just a little upstream or to the east of Riggins, Idaho. And from there go straight up south and east, and you will come to this little place called Warren, named after, of course, the miner who discovered the plethora of gold that was laying in the creek beds of this mountain, high mountain valley. All the old guys are gone. What are you, the new ones, gonna do with the knowledge you now have? A road sign posted on the south side of the road headed east in downtown Warrens. Pay particular attention to the personal guidance given by the local authorities. And remember, in 1862 there was no law, and therefore this was a wild and cracking town site. Every day, all day, and all night. This is looking down Main Street, one of the only streets in downtown Warren, Idaho. The dance hall is pretty much the way it looked when it was built in 1862. It was the miners' only form of entertainment. The main street was where it all happened. The good, the bad, and the ugly. But from out of this difficult place, great wealth flowed, and great blessings along with them. This land was dug and worked and produced tremendous wealth, just like America will do for you today. Peace and love to all of you. Papa Bear.